Alex Answer here, coming to you June 11th, 2015, from the RV here in southern Colorado. I'm going to do a video here talking about the widespread concerns surrounding September 2015, including the concerns of a asteroid hit in or around September 24th, and some of the pop culture memes that are out there, like the Deep Impact movie, that have these dates, 9/23, 9/24, 9/25, embedded in the movie. The first thing that I want to say is that I've been involved in the alternative media since 2004 or 5. Started a show on Access TV in Portland, launching the YouTube channel in 2006. In that time, I've seen a lot of drills. I've seen a lot of things come to pass. I've seen a lot of concerns raised whenever there's a drill. I've seen a lot of predictions made. I've seen a lot of disinformation pollute the waters. I've seen YouTube suggest disinformation videos to me on a regular basis the last couple of years. I've seen Facebook do the same thing. I've seen a number of people reposting fake news from certain websites like the EU Times and many others, whatdoesitmean.com. You know, they actually have a real news section at the very bottom, but they have a fake actual section of news where they write their stuff in-house. It's all there to confuse people that are either just waking up to certain truths, that there's certain deceptions, or to confuse people that woke up a long time ago but may not have the background information to realize that certain things are fabricated. For example, when it comes to this concept of World War III, the United States going to war with China, or the United States going to war with Russia, in actuality, with both of them, and the allies of China and Russia. This has been something that some of us have been tracking for the last decade. The build-ups to this stage-managed world war, where you literally have people on both sides controlled by the same entities, working with similar weapons technologies. Ultimately, I think that's the ultimate threat that we're dealing with down the line, is a fabricated war that's designed to get people to kill each other and launch whole new reigns of terror. And I'm very concerned for the future of America. So having said that, and I'll elaborate more as we move forward in the future, and I've talked about it quite a bit over the past few years, I don't claim to have all the answers. And I'm not here to debunk or discount the concerns of others. What I'm here to say is, it's obvious that we're heading in this direction of a stage-managed conflict, and I think this is really serious. But there's other stuff that's out there taking people's attention, and it's like every couple years there's these disinformation reports that get really popular on the internet, social media, YouTube, Facebook. For whatever reason, they're ending up on people's feeds. And people are clicking on these videos. Some of them have 500,000 views, and someone's, reading something in a robot voice, or they're saying like they're having a panic attack, from their laptop as they read this fake news report from this fake website. And you see how much attention that has gathered. I think it's intentional. So when we look at things like Jade Helm 15, and we look at things like all these drills coming together, we need to keep our focus on what the truth actually is. If there's disinformation reports about asteroid strikes, if there's other things, and I'm not saying that that's not possible, we do live in a world where our Earth's magnetic field is weakening, where there are holes in the Earth's magnetic field. Anything is possible at any time. It's very difficult to predict certain things. And because people are on edge and there's a certain amount of anxiety, there's like a machine of distortion that's there building upon all of these anxieties, trying to redirect true human intuitive knowing and direct it towards distorted knowledge and information. But people feel in their heart that something's coming. And this is also why the government's involving in ISIS propaganda. Americans know something's coming at some point, dealing with the concept of enemies coming from outside. In reality, whatever is coming from outside, this threat is an engineered threat from the global government. And we know ISIS is a creation of these Western intelligence agencies. It's very well known now. And that's actually how disturbing it is that that's being done. It's been exposed. Even CNN. Notice CNN running with stories that ISIS has fighters that have been trained by the State Department. You know, people that have defected, gone to ISIS from the State Department, really, that were trained by the United States. So they've admitted it, and all of that is a part of the plot in the theater of war to bring down the image of the United States, bring down the morale, build up the hatred of Americans. This is a really big deal that's taking place. All this popularity, manufactured popularity of Putin. There's nothing nice about some of these other global superstates. There's no lesser of evils here. Why would people that question the Obama deception, why would they fall for another deception and think of another leader from another government just because they're not American, just because they're not Obama? Why would people see these people as something different because of what appears to be the truth in the theater of war? But it's happening around you. Those of you that are aware of these and watching these videos, what's going to be happening, this and that. Really? Do you really think that it's all, and when nothing comes to pass along those lines of the major asteroid strike of September 24th and 25th, will there be a wake-up call then that maybe there's a whole bunch of disinformation coming from some of those websites? Maybe there's some programming or mind control going on. Maybe people are easily duped. Maybe some people aren't as intuitive as they think they are. Maybe some people that don't believe in intuition maybe should try to access some intuition or common sense, because clearly there's a lack of it today, and I think it's needed, and I think some people are capable of a little bit better than what they've shown. You know, maybe seeing if there's any other websites reporting on that same false story. You know, we're on the verge of seeing a whole new wave of the BatBoy, almost. Like the BatBoy at the supermarket, you know, where you would check out at the grocery store, and there's BatBoy meeting with Bush, you know, just there to pollute the waters. Well, that stuff is still out there, but, you know, newspapers don't sell as much these days. A lot of stuff's on the internet. We have our own versions of the gosh darn BatBoy. And it keeps emerging and rearing its ugly head. Listen, let me conclude here. What's happening with these drills are significant because the narrative is being built for war, world war. It takes some time to get people full on board, because I remember warning people a couple years ago saying we were going to be heading in that direction, and people telling me I was crazy to suggest that there would be a conflict between these nations. But more or less, people consider my warnings a little not as credible as perhaps others, because I believe that what we're about to see is a staged, managed conflict, because the U.S. has already set up China to be in the position that it's in. Gary Allen and others documenting the co-op, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. So there's been a lot of work towards building this World War III scenario with all of these controlled superstate nations. This didn't just start in the last couple of years. It started a long time ago. And there's a number of books a long time ago that started to write about this and how all of this would lead to a one world government. And where are we now? And what is emerging now? And what is taking place now with currencies, with the economy, with talks of this new world reserve currency, with the AIIB, with BRICS, with the soon potential death of the Fed. And also what is happening with Greece, what is happening with Europe. Are we able to connect the dots yet? These are the risks that we face. Long term, what will be of the U.S.? Not some major in a flash into the world event, but the slow, long emergency that has already arrived. People live in the refugee experience. People that have lost their jobs, that are living out of their vehicles. People that may soon become homeless for whatever reason, either from being displaced from a natural disaster or economics. And then where are people to go down the line with the emergence of the police state, with the war on homelessness, with what is really taking place as American land, more and more of it incrementally, potentially, at some point, may be given to foreign governments like China, that have already paid for land in the United States. At some point, certain events are going to manifest because the deals have already been made in the physical world already, in the past tense. It's now 2015. A lot of the money that the U.S. borrowed is in the past tense. And a lot of the deals that China has penned with the United States for certain aspects of land in the United States have already been done in the past. As far as people being displaced and removed from certain areas because there's a new territory being developed, a new border, that is yet to happen. But at some point in time, we know that the American government has been preparing for a very upset, pissed off population. And as I mentioned in a recent video, there's one viewer that's concerned that some sort of announcement may be coming about a draft. A draft following some sort of declaration of world war. Everything that we're seeing in the news is indicating that the superstate nations at some point plan to go to war, as more and more billionaires, as more and more people in the media that are on the news make predictions for World War III. We've seen more of that in the last couple of weeks, from Soros to a billionaire in China who owns Alibaba, which is the Chinese equivalent of Amazon.com, to the former head of the CIA, all predicting World War III. Take notice and be aware. The narrative for war is building. This is what we need to be focused on. Not a false prediction as to something happening September 24th, 2015, something from a fake disinfo site, just to take your attention away from what is real. And the very worst thing, again, that some of you can do is to think that any of these so-called leaders of these other nations are lesser of any evils based on what you're reading in the news. Thinking that they're against the New World Order because of what you're seeing in the theater of war, because of what you may be reading in the bankers' media. Take the knowledge you've already accrued about global deceptions, cover-ups of things like 9/11, and start to understand how these misleaders are working together behind closed doors to stage manage this third world war. I'm Alex Ansary signing off, June 11, 2015, from sunny Southern Colorado.